Hi guys, so in this video I'm going to teach you a trick that I came up with that I call the ambitious card at any number. It's pretty straightforward. You take a selection, you put it towards the bottom of the deck, and you ask a person for a number, and that card jumps up to their number. Now, I won't lie to you, there are some moves in this trick that are a little bit challenging, and it's not for the beginner or even the intermediate, I would say. You have to know how to do some moves and be good at them for this trick. But I know that if you're watching this video that you can master this trick. I'll teach you all the moves and the routine step by step, and you'll have no problem in doing this, and it's fun to practice. Let's get into it. Alright, so what I'll do here is demonstrate the trick for you, and then after I do that, I will teach you exactly what I'm doing, okay? So, the person can shuffle as much as they want to. This trick is completely impromptu. Alright, so when you get it back, you ask them to just point to a card, okay? So maybe they go for that one right there, the Queen of Spades. Now, I'd say the Queen is about 26, 27, 28 cards down, give or take. But if we cut it deeper into the pack, maybe down all the way towards the bottom, this will become more impressive, as you'll see. So I want you to imagine that your card is going to rise up through the deck to a number that you want, close to the top. Maybe you go for, like, say, 10 and 20. That might be a good number. So I'll just use Siri, okay? So, hey Siri, name a number between 10 and 20.
That would be 15.
15, okay, so watch this. I'll push that in, and if I drop cards down to the table, I will stop at exactly 15 cards, and that is exactly where your card will be. From all the way down there to 15. Here we go. Watch this. You won't believe this. Yep, that's exactly 15. Let me just double check real quick. Yep, exactly 15. Amazing. Oh, you want proof, right? So watch. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 cards. Exactly. We did it. But you still want proof that that's actually your card. It was down here. There it is, the Queen of Spades. Alright, so a lot to unpack here with this one. So first of all, you'll need to know a move that I came up with on my own that I call the push control. The second move you'll need to know is a spread cull. And the third move you'll need to know is a glide false count, which I'll get into everything right now. So if you know the convincing control move, that's essentially what the push control is. Okay, so we have a card touched or pointed to, in this case the 9 of spades, and it looks like it's in the middle, but really it's controlled to the bottom of the deck. But in the push control, we're going to control it near the top of the deck, okay? So the push control is essentially the same move, but we do something different. So the 4 of clubs in this case, I say that's about, I don't know, halfway down, but if I cut deeper, it actually jump to the top of the deck, and that's the push control. So let's get into that move first, okay? So with the convincing control, the switch is very important. You want to make the switch look as deceptive as possible, like this. So you can go through and have a card pointed to like this, and you want to come up to show it like this, but then on the way up, you want to align the selection as close as possible with the card directly above it, okay? So as you go up, just sort of like scoot them close together. They don't have to be perfect like this. You don't make a big deal of making them perfectly aligned like a double lift or nothing like that. You just want to make sure they're close together like this. Now, on your way up to show the card, you point to it and say, remember that card, okay? So now, it's going to look like you simply come back down and out jog their card like this. But what actually happens is, of course, you switch it for that card right above it that's aligned with it, okay? So essentially, you're just doing this. Alright, this is essentially what the move is in a nutshell. Just that you're pulling that card forward, okay? So, as you can see, the mechanics of this is very simple. This deck in this hand is squared, and that makes it very easy for these fingers to be, free to do all the dirty moves over here. So what's really happening here is you're just, with your thumb, you want to up jog that card that's above it like this, okay? So, but that on its own is not going to look very good. That's where these fingers come into play, okay? So you do this move like we talked about, like this. You just you want to align this half deck with this about halfway up, okay? So it's about halfway up jogged like this. That way, when you move back, it's already up jogged. So again, you're here, and I'm doing this without the switch of these fingers. I'm just showing you with this card here, okay? So you do this, come back down about right here, so it's halfway up jogged, and then simply pin that down and move this back, okay? So, but like I said, on its own, that's not going to look good. So you have to pull back on the card with these fingers like a spread cull move, okay? So exposed view would be this. Once again, go through, get a couple of cards close together like this. As you come up to show, point to it, all right? As you come back down, again, you're about right here, so this thumb pins that card down so it can't move as these fingers pull back this direction, the selection itself, so it's like this. Exposed view, like that. You just curl those fingers in like this, and look at that, you have your move. Now this move takes place about right here, about eye level, so they're looking at the edges of the cards, so they can't really see anything going on anyway, so like this, and I've done the switch. Now, with the convincing control like this, what I've been showing you, normally you control the card all the way down there to the bottom, like this, right? But in this, you're going to load it under a certain number of cards. In this case, for this trick, 4 cards below, okay? So what happens here is this. For the push control, 4 from top, you're going to do the move, but spread 3 cards over like this, and just load that cold card under those pushed over 3 cards, as you can see here. Now I'll spread some more. So now you're just loading the cold selection below 3 cards in the spread. Okay, so now what you do for the push control is you simply take your index finger and pull back this whole block below the outjogged X card, okay? So you pull those back like this, you grab a chunk, most of these like this, and pull back. Now when you do this, this portion of cards is going to contain the selection that is now 4 from top of it. So it looks like that's their card sticking out towards the bottom, but really you've managed to control it 4 from top, just like this. Now for the push control itself, to get it on top of the deck, I'll just go through that real quick. And you're like this, and you simply just do this and just leave it there, okay? So you don't cull it under any cards, you just do the switch itself so it's under the outjogged X card, okay? So what happens now when you do that cutting move, it'll just be on top. And doing this move, you can control it pretty much anywhere in the deck, right? I mean, reasonably, at least from 1 to 10 is pretty easy. Okay, so I wouldn't do it any further than that. This move is designed for a small number towards the top. Okay, so this move is perfect for this trick. Okay, so now, once you do the push control to get it 4 from top, we'll do the 4 clubs in this case. All right, I see that's about, I don't know, halfway down, 26, 27, give or take. But let's cut it deeper, just so it's more impressive. I've just done the move, so now what they think is the 4 clubs down there, it's really 4 from top. So now you say you're going to cause their card to rise up through the deck, and you can spread it like this if you want to, just to emphasize the condition, all right? You can say it's going to rise up through the deck to a small number, a number that you want, all right? So we'll just use maybe 13 in this case. And so what you do is you push it all the way in. You say, look, I'll push that in, and as I drop cards to the table, I will stop at exactly your number 13, and that's where your card will be. Alright, so now what you do is you actually do that, alright? So you dribble cards on the table, and try to actually estimate their number, in this case 13, alright? And practice will make that easier for you. It's just a matter of just eyeballing, and you want to get more, you want to estimate more than their number, okay? So if they say 13, just estimate at least 15 or 16, okay? So you don't want to go under. That's very important, okay? So always aim for higher than their number they named, all right? So in this case, they named 13, so I want to dribble the cards on the table. And just by looking at the side of the deck like this, I can estimate about where 15 or 16 cards would be, maybe like right here. All right, so now what I do is I say, yep, that's exactly, let me just double check, that's exactly 13 cards. And what I've just done here is doing this little, check to make sure I've done it correctly, is I've culled the card that was originally 4 from top here to the bottom of this packet. Alright, so we've already talked about the spread cull briefly. Alright, so in a gesturing action, when you do this, you stop on their number, apparently. You say, yep, that's exactly 13 cards. Let me just double check real quick. And you just spread through, and you know it's 4 from top. So you just cull it under, like this, to the bottom of the packet. There's many resources. I mean, I've done videos on the spread cull. I know Pig Cake has. I know Reed Fairy put out a video on the spread cull. Other guys, you can find it in depth on YouTube, I imagine. But I won't get into too much detail on the spread cull itself. I'm sure you know how to do it. We'll move on from that. So the main thing you want to do here is, as you're doing the cull, don't make it a big thing. Don't draw attention to it. Just say, yep, that's exactly 13. Let me just double check real quick. Yeah, exactly 13. And a little tip on this, though, for the spread cull is sometimes when you're doing it, you might run into a problem here where obviously the cold card can flash a little bit. To get around that, what you want to do is actually pull it in towards your body, okay? You want to pull it in towards yourself. So normally when you do the spread cull, you just curl the fingers in straight across like this. But in this case, to hide that even further, you want to actually pull it back, like curl them in and backwards towards yourself. So you're almost like in this condition, but from the front, they can't see that, okay? So, so that'll hide the cold card very well. Alright, so once again, we're here, blah, blah, blah. I will stop at exactly 13 cards. Yep, that's exactly 13 cards right there. Let me just double check real quick. Let's see. Yep, exactly 13. Okay, you want proof, don't you? Now, here's where you do the glide false count, okay? So, it's going to look like you count this packet and arrive at their number, but what actually happens is something very different, obviously, because it's a false count. It is on the bottom of the deck, or this packet. So what you want to do is begin counting cards. You hold it in middle position, and you take your thumb and start counting cards into your hand like this, one by one. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. But what you really do here is, as you start counting, you just side jog that card like this towards your so your palm hides it, okay? So you're in a side jog position like this. Now, as you start counting, that's when you do it. So you just bring it over like this. That's 1. And in that motion, I've done it. So don't make it a get ready. So don't do this. Okay, and then do it. Don't make it weird, all right? You want to make it a one smooth action so it doesn't look off, okay? So you're here. We'll go 1. So as I come over, 1 is you do it at the exact same time, okay? So you bring it over, 1. So both actions happen at the same time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, here's the move. When you get to the number right before theirs, you're in this position here. So on the count of 12, the number before their number, you simply just take all the cards remaining above it like this. So 11, 12 as a block. So you're holding the last card and snap it and say 13. Exactly 13. And put them down on the deck so they can't, recount them before you even check your work. And it'll be their card. So one more time on that glide false count. Let's say they wanted 17 in this case. Again, estimate at least 20, okay? So let's see if I do this. Yep, that's exactly 17 cards. And sometimes you might actually get lucky and get exactly the number, but don't try for that. You always want to try for more, okay? So I think I've got at least 18, 19, 20 cards here, all right? So again, you say, ooh, that's exactly 17 cards. And again, just cull it under as you're talking about that, okay? So yeah, but you want proof, don't you? So, excuse me. So just begin your count, say, so 1, as you do the side jog move, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and on 16, I have at least 5 cards left on 16, but this whole 5-card block is going to be counted as 1 on the number 16, the number before their number. So 15, 16, taking the whole block, ending with that single card, 17. There's your card, a miracle.